Hello and good evening and welcome to Roll for Efforts.
Cheers.
Hey,
welcome. Alright. I'm Jason. That's Joe. And then we have Chuck. And then we have Park. And then we have Damien. And we have Gary. And we're going to be playing some more of tonight's Bad Moon campaign in Lamentations of the Flame Princess. If you like our channel, please tell someone about it and help us grow. Like, subscribe, give us comments. We love hearing from everybody. Hit that little bell icon if you want to know when stuff's coming out. And Joe, it's your turn.
All right. Welcome back, gentlemen. All right.
What's happening?
Last week took characters took at least an evening, slept through into the night, kind of took like I guess that long rest, if you want to use that term.
Right.
Etienne had woken back up after being unconscious and nigh dead from that blast when what you guys learned was a fairy gate inside that tree was destroyed by the iron axe that Scored carries. You guys had waited around in Grandmother Anne's cabin, kind of discussed a few things. The farmer came back, professed his kind of anger at Dust's actions, the way she went about pulling the information out, which was actually pretty awesome. And then had been decided to kind of hang out a little bit more. Dust wanted to sing a song that she had learned from Adelshade, which, strangely, this ancient song was the same tune that Elric sings in the mornings, or evenings as well. The thing that earned him the name Star Song.
Yeah, that doesn't give me nightmares.
Right?
Anyway.
That's a fun. Those are fun nuggets for me to play with, and oh God, man. Am I going to play? But sang this song, and it attracted will-o-wisps came out of the woods. And as the song finished, everyone was given this brief glimpse of this strange sunlit forest with these faces and trees that were talking to all of you guys, that knew all your names. And then as soon as it had happened, it was done, and you guys were back at Grandmother Anne's cabin. You decided to try and seek Grandmother Anne out to kind of ask her some more questions to get some more answers from her. And the moment you stepped into the woods, everything changed. And you guys were, in essence, stepped through a veil or through some other unknown doorway into a completely different forest that was not the forest that you remember being north of home.
Craziness. Pure craziness.
All right. And after an encounter with a very, very full-on fae in the woods, up in labeled 1406, he had let you guys know that there was a road back to the south. I am picking up some feedback.
Yeah, someone's got music going?
I think it's the music of the game. Looping through somewhere. Seems okay. All right, yeah. So, but he had instructed that there was a road to the south, and that the nearest town, as he put it, was Prigwort. Didn't actually tell you guys which direction it was, but you guys continued southeast, and soon came into view of a castle down across the plains south of the woods. Castle with a sprawling city out around the walls.
Oh wow! So this is a major settlement. I thought it was just like a town. There's like a castle with a city.
Yeah, a castle with a full town. Okay. And you guys had made the decision to kind of, instead of all the eggs in one basket, to kind of separate and send Dust and Etienne to kind of scout ahead. While the rest of you, Scored, Minimus, and Elric kind of waited behind off the side of the road, kind of in a little makeshift camp moment. And so that is where we come back this evening. As Dust and Etienne, sorry guys, I'm going to go ahead and start on that side as they walk in. As you guys make your way There we go. Whoop. Into the outskirts of this town.
Okay.
All right.
Scouting ahead. Hopefully everybody could see that. I've got everybody separated.
Yep.
Dustin, Etienne down here at the town, and the rest of you guys up hanging out off to the side of a road nearest the woods. All right, so Dustin, Etienne, you go making your way into the town, and much like any town, I mean, it's bustling. You see people everywhere. Notably, you see humans everywhere. And quite a few of them, make their way past you guys. A lot of them seem to look over in your direction. Quite a few of them actually looking at you. And again, I just have to side note, it's about 1, 2-ish in the afternoon. And some of them look over at you, kind of making eye contact with you, Etienne, saying, good morning, and continuing about their way.
I nod. I kind of keep my eye open for any local stores. I'll go to what I know.
Yeah, there's definite, evidence of different shops. There are little stalls. There are full-blown shops lining some of the rows. Virtually everything you can think of. You do see a porcelain or a potter's shop, ceramics, that seems to be closed. And in broad letters on the sign, it says closed for the month of remembrance. But it's the only one that seems closed.
Okay.
Does it seem like we're attracting a ton of attention? Like undue, like we stick out like sore thumbs?
Now that you mention it, since you're looking around for that, Dust, there seems to be quite a few sidelong glances at you in particular. And the more you kind of notice that, the more you notice that you haven't seen anything except humans in this whole city. And whenever they walk by, people are looking specifically at Etienne and telling him, good morning. Despite the fact it is about 2-ish in the afternoon.
Well, if your kind's welcome around there, Dust. Best be careful in them parts.
Yeah, no doubt. Are we on what seems to be the main thoroughfare through this town?
Yeah. The main road from the other map, that kind of southeasterly road, cuts right through the majority of this town and looks like it skirts around the side of the castle, sitting back in the distance.
Do you want to go shopping?
Yes, let's go check out one of these buildings.
Dust is going to pull her cloak up over her head,
do a Spock,
and down as far as over her countenance as she can, and she's going to maintain a very low profile and stick right next to Etienne.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and what specifically are you looking for there, Etienne?
I'm going to go into one of the general stores. I'm going to try to get a good look at the items on the counter, see if I can figure out when or where we are.
Okay, everything looks fairly similar, about the same era that you're used to. Everything looks very common for 1657. Okay. And as you're kind of looking around, a woman, obviously the shopkeeper, comes up. Oh, good morning, Etienne. I did not expect you back so soon. I thought this was your month of remembrance after your parents' passing. My condolences. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Do I recognize her?
Never seen her before in your life.
Okay. I'm having trouble remembering. When was the last time I was in town?
Last time you were in town?
Yes.
Why, you only just left 2 days ago when you closed your shop.
Okay.
Who are you exactly? Why do you... And then she kind of glances over and sees Dust, the pale, milk-pale colored skin, and her eyes kind of like go a little wide, and she looks back at you and just starts screaming, "Changeling! Changeling!" And you hear bells begin to ring. Scored, Minimus, Elric.
That escalated quickly. See, this is why you don't hang out with elves. I'm just, Here. All right. Wow.
So, Scored, Minimus, and Elric.
Yes.
Set off the alarm bells already.
Jesus.
They're dead.
It is the only logical conclusion.
I'll start rolling up a character now.
So actually, Joe, upon achieving the second level and receiving a certain level of divine enlightenment,
Mm-hmm.
I now have access to a particularly new spell that I would like to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. You guys leveled up.
Yeah, so I would like... So we just sent our companions off, right? And I would like to perform an augury.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
In which I pray for guidance from my great spirit to ask questions and get a sense of woe, or what's the other word for it?
Wheel.
Will, yeah.
Yep. Whoa or wheel, exactly.
Oh, are we?
Whoa.
Whoa,
man.
real bad.
Jinky, we're in trouble, Scoob.
Like, yoinks, man.
Alright, so I am,
Yeah,
so I'm just sort of seeing if I can get a sense of whether or not, the town is a good place to visit or not.
Okay.
No.
For
Alright,
our party, as in all of us.
Okay, and you're specifically asking about the whole party.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, they're good.
Yep,
Looks clear.
right?
Oh, praise
so
be.
you're praying to the one light, and it doesn't. You don't have that feeling like you have gotten in touch with him, or like he has heard you.
Right.
So
This
it
is
doesn't
not
cost
important,
you your
apparently.
save cast. Yeah.
Go about your business.
Everything
You
is
still
going
have,
according to the will
Right?
of the one.
Yeah. So it doesn't take a save cast
ineffable
for you.
plan.
Like you're
That's
still good
awesome.
Yes, yeah, the NFL plan is in function. We're good. Okay.
at it. All right.
All right.
So yeah, as you guys are kind of relaxing there by the roadside, waiting to hear back from your fellows, it's very faint, but you kind of like get a little bit of the sound of a bell ringing off in the distance, assuming it's coming from coming back from this castle in town. And Scored, you kind of absolutely begin itching your arm, and then you realize it's that scar. It's starting to get a little bit of an itch, or a little burn to it.
As I do that, I will quickly move around, grabbing my axe with both hands, and quickly scout around.
All right. Going perception, or are you going to try and feel through your scar?
I will definitely feel through the scar.
All right. Yeah. So do that D6, and what did you have? 3 pips in that, right? In Goat Ken?
Yes.
Yeah. So 4, 5, or 6, you're good. Yeah. You can't seem to pinpoint it, but you're definitely aware that same feeling you had back in your world, because you're in a different world now. But that same feeling you had when that goat man came tearing out from the woods, you're just not sure where from.
Minimus, Elric, be on your guard. Another goatman is around. I don't know where, but he's close. I can feel him in my bones.
I guess Minimus at that point, since he was hanging out with Scored, will take his pipe and he'll tap it out. Oh, this is quite fine tobacco here, dwarf. Crazy times indeed. If I am mad, it must be mercy. May the gods pity the man who in his callousness can remain sane to such hideous evil. I'll do a bushcraft check, seeing him itch his arm and sensing that there might be some danger in the area. Bushcraft, looking for any, I guess, movement of
Looking for
people around
signs.
me. Yeah, signs of some danger. Signs of danger.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. So as you're kind of like feeling around, you notice with the breeze, a lot of the trees and some of the grasses and stuff are moving and swaying, but you notice one specific spot looking in through like those heavy layers of foliage, a spot that's moving quite strange compared to the wind, and for certain there is something crashing through the wood there. And as you're watching, and pointing it out to both Elric and Scord, zeroing them in on the spot, you see this goat man, unarmed, running out from the trees. He seems to be holding some bundle swaddled up in a blanket of sorts, and he's rushing and tearing through. And he kind of looks up and sees you guys, and it almost looks like a face of relief on his goat-like features as he runs forward. Thank the gods! Thank them all! You've got to help me! You've got to help me! They're after the child! As he comes running closer, you catch a bare glimpse through this blanket of the ruddy pink flesh or pink skin of what looks to be a human child.
Right there. Stop that man. Goat thing. He has something precious.
He ran away from us, or he's running to us?
He's running
He's
to us,
running.
man.
Yeah, he's running to you with a look of relief, and he's pleading for you. Help, please!
I'm sorry, I hold back on these things, man. I got negative charisma.
They're trying to take the child. I've only just rescued it. You must help.
Ah, foul beast of the devil! Give me that child at once!
How's my arm feel, Joe?
It still feels like it's burning. It's not, with him standing so close, it's not burning as much as you would figure. It kind of makes you think that perhaps there is something else.
Interesting, okay.
Remember or thinking back to the feeling you had last time, how much the intensity of the burning and itching in the arm when that goat man came attacking you.
Yeah, so as he gets close and he has the child with us, and I get that feeling, I will. Miss Elric, this is not what's causing me distress. There is something else out there, and I'm going to circle around all three of them: the Minimus, Elric, and the Goat Man, particularly from where the Goat Man came from, and see if I can't, hone in on anything.
All right, you're gonna make that attempt again?
You bet.
All right. You know what? I'm not even gonna have you roll for that. You are definitely, with the trail that he came bursting through, you're able to use that with feeling through that scar in your arm, that intensity that's slowly growing. There is most certainly something that is affecting your arm, presumably Goatman, coming from that exact same direction. And as you're kind of peering into the trees, you can hear the branches snapping and a little bit of a kind of a sound ripping through it as well. As as these two kind of rat wolf kind of hybrid things come tearing out, much like hunting dogs, followed by another one of those very foul looking goat men. Jesus. Comes ripping and shredding their way through.
Dear God, let's run! Well, fucking, I'll try and snatch the kid from his arms and run towards the city center.
All right, before we get to that, I'm going to jump back over to Dustin at the end.
As soon as Legwin Burrow raises the alarm and starts screaming. Dust very calmly hawks and spits on the floor in disgust. She looks at Legwin and says, "Humans are the same. Changeling, Etienne, would you please tell her, for God's sakes, tell her how you've stolen me from my home." Spits again. Tell her how about my nefarious plot. And Dust kind of is like, Etienne as much as I can.
I'll tell her, but I don't think it's going to do any good.
Guards!
As we look around,
I'll head over and look out the door and see if anyone's coming this way.
Is there any other way out of this place besides the front door that we came in?
Not that you can see from here. There does seem to be a set of stairs and a door that goes farther back in. This seems to be like the main cellar's floor. Etienne, as you're kind of looking out the front door, oh, pardon me, there is definitely about 6 guards, about a half a dozen, coming running towards the sound of this woman's shouts.
Yeah.
You hear other people starting to echo it. Just changeling in the general goods, changeling in the Gwyn shop.
Oh, man. Alarm is
Dust grabs Etienne and says,
"We gotta go.
We've got to go. Let's get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, I'm gonna through that back door looking for a way out.
Yeah, we bust out it for sure.
Out the front door?
No, the back door.
Okay. Opening that other door, it seems to go back into more of like a storage or a not quite a full warehouse, but it's no other exit. What's
Any
that?
windows?
There were stairs?
Yeah, there are stairs that go up to another floor, or up to the second floor, and the doorway in the back of the room.
Yeah, I'll be like,
any
storeroom.
Windows are along the front, kind of all facing in towards the main street.
That's in the storeroom?
Yeah, in the main selling floor. The other walls are kind of shared with the buildings next to it.
Second floor? Dust?
Yeah, that's feet.
Upstairs.
Okay, you guys running up the stairs?
Yeah.
All right. And you get upstairs and seeing what basically looks like the living area for the family that owns this shop. You're seeing 2 bedrooms and kind of a sitting room.
No egress at all.
Windows along the front side.
Is there
we can watch for them
overhang?
Yeah, there's that classic older style building where the second floor kind of peeks out over the top floor.
Yeah.
Eaves.
Yep. Eaves. Yes, thank you.
Etienne, I see no other choice, my friend. Let us tiptoe through the tulips.
Okay.
And Dust will start to shimmy through one of the windows out onto one of the eaves and attempt to. She wants to wait until the guards go in and then go the other way.
All right.
While she's doing that, Etienne's going to pull the bed over and prop it behind the door.
Okay, nice.
Try to pull the bed over and
excellent.
prop it behind the door. Buy us a moment or two.
Right.
Watching your zombie movies, bro.
Yes.
Dust will assist with that
Most
if it's
definitely.
still possible.
Yeah. Before you go out the window, definitely. Yeah, you guys are easily able to drag that bed over. It kind of scrapes and groans across the wood. And for getting out onto the eaves, roll me those climbing checks.
Oh, goody.
Okay.
To be able to hang on.
And I got 1 pip.
Oh no! Oh,
Dust. Yep, Dust made it just fine. Etienne,
I have 1 pip.
Oh yeah, that would have needed you a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dust, you're able to easily skirt right out around and swing onto the roof. And behind you hear this, oh! And you look back, and Etienne is dangling off the windowsill.
I'm more used to water.
Right?
Can I try and pull him up?
Yep, you'll be able to make that attempt, but you can clearly see with the scream of the slip, you did not fall to the ground, Etienne. Kind of caught yourself hanging by hand. But the guards have definitely taken notice of that. They see you dangling out of that window and looking up. They're making for the roof. They're making for the roof. I'm the changeling and that elf demon.
Elf demon. Oh, great! You've gone up in status.
Oh my God! He thinks Etienne's a changeling.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! That makes sense. Okay.
So did the
Remember,
witch.
he has that-
The witch
he
called
has
him a
that
changeling
mark.
too.
He
Got
has
it,
that mark
got
on
it.
his belly. Remember?
Yeah. It totally makes sense. Yeah.
It looks like this.
Yeah, my
Ooh,
cat.
yep.
Oh, I'm scarred. No, don't show me.
Don't show me.
All right. And Dust, as you're reaching down to try and give Etienne a hand, Etienne,
Yeah.
you can hear them right below you. Ooh. Oh, crap. Hands kind of dragging, and one of them latches and grabs onto your ankle.
Not my boot.
Yeah. One of them has got a
Jesus
solid
Christ.
grasp, and he is pulling you down. So go ahead and we'll do an opposed strength check to see if you can yank
great.
yourself free on this guy.
I've got a straight
Can
die
I
roll
assist?
on that.
Yeah, with your assistance, Etienne, add what's your strength, Dust?
Mine's 0.
-1.
Well, it was fun playing with you guys.
with the two of you. Well, with the two of you pulling, I'll give that an extra +1 to your roll there, Etienne.
All right.
Nice.
Oh, only had to beat an 11.
Yeah. No.
No.
8.
Does somebody have a hero's coin?
Nope.
So Dust, he Etienne slips right out of your hand, and Etienne, your hand just gets ripped right off that windowsill, and you are dragged to the ground.
Get to the others.
You take 3 damage as you slam into the hard-packed cobbled road there.
Okay. That was 8.
Bring the archers! Stop that devil elf!
Fucking town bells ringing.
Scored.
Can
Minimus. Elric.
Now, obviously, Scored is going to ignore all things he might have heard in the town, but he probably doesn't even hear it anyway. He sees.
Yeah, it's faint. You don't hear any of the screaming. The bell toll is very faint.
Yeah, but I do see these vicious things in front of me that obviously deserve to get their daily dose of iron.
Indeed.
You sound so healthy.
On those first 2 guys on the leash, and I will swing my axe mightily at them.
Come on.
I'm gonna put out my pipe first.
Oh god.
Right. Swing goes wild and just misses as they're kind of they seem a little surprised to see you there. So Minimus and Elric, you guys both also have an action before initiative.
Well, I'm on point with Scored, so I will also take a swing at beasts. The two-headed beast.
Oh no, it's actually two separate wolf rats.
2 wolf rats and one goat guy.
Yep, and 1 goat guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the goat guy
Sounds
wearing
like a-
anything like other than holding the axe?
Nope. He is all 3 of these things over here are unarmored.
Okay.
It's just holding, and it's not that you guys have seen them, but from the I guess the prologue or the flashback, it seems to be one of those strange kind of axes that has that weird like dark kind of membrane around it, the kind of harness axis.
Okay.
So if it hits, looks like it's probably going to entangle of some sort.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Yeah, so it's just a solid 12 for unarmored to hit.
It is my duty to protect the weak. And though you are not weak, dwarf, you are of my realm, and therefore I shall protect you. Long-winded like it while I strike. Anyway, there it is.
Badass. Nice. Nice job.
So I do have to ask, what is your sword made of? Is it the more common steel, or have you gone with a older style iron?
I feel like this is my opportunity to be like iron, but no. I mean, it's a common sword, so I imagine it would have been made of steel.
Steel? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, standard damage.
Okay.
We can dip it.
I
online.
would have been playing the system if I had said iron. I mean, iron swords are
Right.
probably super uncommon for a raw iron. They'd be much more brittle and break. That's why you use iron axes.
But yeah, 5 damage, you are able to cut the first of those 2 hounds completely down. You hack into it and it drops to the ground, oozing this kind of brackish blood.
Wow.
It almost seems a little coagulated.
Yeah.
But not undead, I should say. Like, it looks foreign from regular blood. Alright, Minimus.
Just a quick question. The individual that's holding the baby has Fey appearance, right?
Oh yeah, he looks just like that. He is 100% a goat man.
So goat man. And he came from the woods as well, right? He wasn't running from town. He was coming out of the woods, same direction.
Yep. And now with these other things out, it looks like he was running away from them.
Right. Yeah, so I'll
swaddling this human child.
I'll stick with it's just kind of a reflex thing. If he came to offer this child with help, I'm just gonna react, grab the child, and run towards town. I'm gonna do a near move.
He does not let you grab the child. If he sees you reaching for it, he is pulling it away.
Okay. So that would have been my action just because of what I'd said, and that was what I'm gearing. So if I can't grab the child, I would have been turning around then. I think if he snatches the kid away, I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on? And if I still have an action, I don't know.
He's definitely he's definitely protesting. He's like, the child is under my protection.
But you need our protection. Gotcha. I'm gonna shoot the dude who has the wolves. I'm a little confused here.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. Let me take a shot then.
Okay. At the goat man or the other remaining rat dog?
Oh crap! God damn it! I'm sorry. My roll 20 just shut down.
No worries, man. No worries.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna shoot the goat man.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to take me a couple of minutes, so if you want me to roll just a hard roll, I got a dice right here, dude.
Oh yeah, you could go ahead and roll that.
All right, let's do that while I load back up.
I can feel it.
All right.
Plus your...
I can sense max damage, natural 20. Come on.
Fucking roll the 1.
Oh no!
Dude, you can lie better than that.
No, I cannot. Dear sir, I cannot lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the hammer snaps down, and nothing. Misfire again on your on your.
Second time I fired the gun, and
We gotta get you a bow and arrow.
A 1's a 1, right? Jeez. Yeah. All right, misfire. I'm just standing there looking stupid.
Which is a shame because technically, with the reduction of armor, I think it takes 5 points off the armor, so you really only need to roll a 7 to hit them with that gun, or to damage them with the gun.
All right. Like I said, I'm standing there looking like fuck.
He just likes the smell of gunpowder.
Shit.
They're all empty. He's going click.
All right.
All right. And now, guys, if you want to roll me a d20 to see who's going to kick off the initiative. Or the three of you there.
Now I roll good.
Well, you're in the town.
Yeah.
So Joe has the
Sticky
initiative.
dice.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So
I suddenly realized in a system where you can be one-shotted that's like, real important.
Yeah. I am surrounded by people.
Right. Well, the wolf dog, or the last remaining one, comes charging forward, Elric, after you just cut down the other pair there, and takes a snap. Tries to sink its teeth into you. Ooh, and I'm thinking that does it. For 3 damage as it sinks those teeth into your thigh.
Ouch. Oh, sorry, which one, me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You cut down his buddy. And meanwhile, the goat man rushes in towards Scored. And... oh my god.
Jeez, man.
18 for 3 damage.
Hey,
Also 3 damage.
You're not allowed to get sick anymore. You come back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
My bad. Alright, that brings us... and this guy, I mean, I know his name's visible. He hasn't introduced himself yet. He's kind of backstepping. Seems like he's ready to bolt at any moment. And Scored, that brings us to you.
Scored will ignore the rat that went for Elric and face this much bigger, much more worthy opponent for mighty dwarf warrior. Swing my axe once more.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, the dirty
I'll
20.
Bury my axe deep within this fellow.
Nice.
Wiggle it.
Oh!
Oh! Got it.
Damn! Whack!
Ollie.
Cleave the thing's head clean off as you come sweeping through, spraying that vile blood out everywhere. Head kind of thumps down to the ground, horn sticks into the dirt, and it just kind of like stays hung there. Body drops to the ground, smelling just awful. More so on the inside, apparently. Like a tauntaun. Alright, Minimus.
I think Minimus is going to look at his gun, with his powder kind of sizzling and just be like, oh man, I fear my enthusiasm flags when real work is demanded of me. And he puts his pistol back in his belt, pulls out his cutlass, and attacks the demon rat.
Right, it's the last remaining rat dog.
Yeah.
Nice.
God. All right. No bonuses here. Almost.
Oh yeah, not quite. It kind of glances and tangles off that thick matted fur. Just doesn't quite seem to catch it right. All right, Elric.
Ah! Beast! Get your tongue out of my leg! Or teeth, whatever. Anyway, and I would like to...
What are you doing with that dog?
Well, it's latched onto my bloody leg. I'm trying to... so I'm going to stab it. It's my high level of creativity for this encounter.
Nice.
Yeah. Convenient, since it's, attached to my leg. And
right?
There's no bonuses on these, right? It's just the straight raw. Like
Yep, just a straight...
Strength is just added to hit.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's true.
Bam!
Oh, yep,
The
only
Lands of
needed
Thunder.
4. That was enough to drop the last one there. Oh, and for the record, Scored. You noticed when your axe bit into this thing, it kind of sizzled a little bit as it hit the thing. I should have actually told you, it technically did a +1 damage to it.
Nice.
Which you really did not need.
I just assumed it was my superior axeman skills.
Yeah.
Martial superiority.
Yeah, I only had that thing at 6 hit points, so that 8 was more than enough on its own to fell the beast. Alright, and as the thing drops, this figure is still looking like it's ready to bolt at any moment, cradling this child, kind of looking at it, looks up. I cannot thank you enough. This was the 9th one, the last one from here the Naglord needed. Children missing everywhere. Thank you. I will tell the parents what you have done. I can't go directly into the town, but they are to meet me. Just outside and to the south. Thank you. You have no idea the things you have just done to help our lands now. Thank you, strangers. And he turns and starts to head off.
Hold, beast.
Towards the town.
As he does that, kneel down and I grab the head that I have cut off this other goat man. And I grab it by one of the horns. And I just kind of put it up and compare it to the guy that's got the baby. Is there a difference?
Other than the shape of the horns, there is no difference. However, your scar no longer has any sort of burn in it whatsoever. As soon as that last rat dog thing dropped, the pain or the subtle pain kind of went away.
Gotcha.
You've got like a sting of scars.
Creature!
You, do not run!
Creature, stop!
We can offer further protection. We need answers.
Yeah, at the end of we're attempting to stop the horn, whatever that is.
Yeah. Persuasion.
Yeah, okay. He kind of stops. What is it? The parents of this child. I caught up to them on the road, and I was able to snatch it back after they stole it. It's been
the parents? Where do the parents live? We need more information.
First of all, why can you not enter the town?
That's Brackenwold. That's the Castle Brackenwold. They are against all Fae. They care none for it, despite the fact that these lands are all part of the kingdom of the Earl of Yellow. He is my liege. But I cannot go in that town. They will jail me and kill me.
Yet this child is human that you hold, is it not?
It is. 9 children from the man, the humans here. 9 children from the goat. 9 children from the Fae. 9 children from every realm that they wish to find. He is close. The Naglord almost has all of them that he needs.
Minimus, did not Dust claim outrageously that she was a Fae and not a cursed human?
Aye.
I mean, would they see it that way?
You travel with a Fae? What kind?
She has pale skin. I assume she needs more sun and has pointy ears. It's difficult to really know more.
Pale skin and pointed ears. Does she have horns, antlers?
I mean, I've never really closely inspected her scalp. Perhaps she has some devilry, but I don't think so.
Wings? If she bears no wings or horn, probably just an elf.
Are they Fae?
But of course. How is it you don't know this? You don't know of the Castle Brackenwold. You don't know of Fae. How could you not know an elf is Fae when you see one?
I fear we are not of this realm, creature.
How are you here? The ways have all been shut.
Well, there we were, walking through the woods, heading to Bjork's ford. And then all of a sudden, we weren't there anymore. I have no idea. All I know is my arm hurts when these goat things are there, and my axe removes the pain.
No, this is simple to explain. It is the will of the one.
You bear a mark. And he takes a couple steps forward. May I see it? You've run afoul of these things before. There are some.
No. I've never seen these things before in my life. What mark do you talk about?
And he just kind of points across at your arm. I guarantee you, if you match that up with the foul claws of that nasty beast, they will match. You must have encountered one when you were young. It is only when you are young that this mark can be applied.
And I'm confused at this point. I look around, I look down, and I literally go over to the goat man and I chop off his hand and pick up the hand and look at the claws, because I'm not going to pick up the whole thing and see.
There are 3 broad claws that definitely look. I mean, the spacing on it's a little different, but you've had this scar for as long as you can remember, since you were a child. The story you've been told is a cave.
That's all I remember. Rocks caused this scar, not claws.
That is no rocks. You've been touched. You've been marked.
Marked by who? Tell us more of who they are.
And
who is this?
And I would
What was
know
the
your
name?
name, sir. You who
I am
claim
called
to owe us a
Thumwood.
debt.
I am Thumwood.
Thumbs. And are you in the service of this Earl in Yellow?
Well, yes, I'm a member of his court. I'm one of his couriers. You will see many of us. Just to the north, well, this is all part of his kingdom. That's as much as I'm going to say there.
And this is the 9th child, you say? 9 of 9.
It was from this world of men.
Whatever is doomed upon us is happening soon. Could you take us to your leader?
I told you, the way is shut. Mortals cannot cross over. I still don't believe how you got here, unless you had some sort of key. You stepped through a gate, yes?
I believe we have a key. It would seem that traveling between dimensions is in our forte. I would not worry about this. Take us to your leader. There are answers to be had.
Not.
We're traveling to a fort.
Well, this world is indeed comic, but it appears that the joke is upon our kind.
I am not taking you to the Earl. You would not suffer the journey. You could not take the journey. It is not in this land. Mortal travel there to the lands of fairy is an impossible thing.
Thumbwood.
Please,
Sorry, you go.
Please, if you would like to keep having this conversation, I need to head down south of the Castle Brackenwold. This child, it needs its parents.
I have but 2 questions, Thumbwood. First.
And they are?
First, are these dog creatures edible?
Ugh.
Important question.
I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I've been fasting for days. Second question. Second question. In yonder town, what did you say it was called again? One more time.
Is the Castle Brackenwold.
Brackenwold. Sorry, writing it down.
Yeah, it's I'll type it in the chat.
Where do they keep their prisoners? Behind the castle walls, or is there a sheriff's office?
No, the prisoners go to the dungeons below the castle. That is where the jailhouse is.
Ah, I see. All right then. Well, gentlemen, I am clear of questions. I think we have quite a bit of information. Does anyone else have a question?
Do you feel that your path to the parents of this child is safe, somewhat?
I think we need
all of your dangers been averted?
I say we follow him if he is heading towards the town.
Sure, we are headed that way as well. May we join you? That way, protect this very important child you seem to bear.
Of course. But where we're going, there are no roads. I know the way, though.
If they are
Sniffs into the
outlawed,
air.
how do they feel about very short men? Looking over at Scord.
Short.
He actually seems pretty substantial for a dwarf to me. Do you not know dwarves where you're from? Have you always just thought him short?
No. I'm aware that he's a dwarf. They're a kind of man who's not tall, but I just want to make sure that their kind will also be accepted in the town.
You actually look somewhat familiar, dwarf. Do you have family here?
No. No, I've never heard of Brackenwold in my life.
I swear there's someone with your likeness.
What do you mean with my likeness?
No, in Prigward. There was one, the whole family line, they are one of the brewers that rule Prigward. There are 9 brewing houses in Prigward that make up a council.
Well, now we're talking. I don't know of it, but if it's brewing houses, then perhaps I am related. I must find these brewing houses and
Yes, someone. We travel with 2 others. We must meet them in Brackenwood. Wait for us.
That'll be good if your kin brew beer here. We will need some way into their castle and dungeon.
It's true.
Well, if you're going to Brackenwold, the dwarf probably best if he doesn't go in. As I said, they're not too kindly to folk that aren't human. Which is why I go to the south, away from the eyes of Brackenwold.
Perhaps if we tie some stumps to your legs, dwarf.
Did that dog bite you really hard and now you're really confused? Perhaps you should check the blood loss there. I think you're about to go nuts.
It's true, I am still bleeding.
Well,
I am too, but I'm not suggesting you have logs strapped to your legs. Crazy. God, do you put logs on your legs?
Hey, it might have worked. I don't know.
Considering the ringing of this raucous bell in the town center of Brackenwood, I think we should check on our fellow adventurers. Seems ominous indeed that such a thing.
Minimus, you speak much more sense than this crazy man who talks about strapping logs to legs.
All right, Dust and Etienne. All right, Etienne, you have been scooped up off the ground by these 6 guards. They are already beginning to shackle you. Dust, you are on the roof, and you can hear them calling out, "Bring archers!"
No, don't!
Do they have line of sight on me? Or can I, I'm on top of that eave. Can I get up against the outer wall of the building and be out of their line of sight, or no?
Oh, you can easily get out of view, moving up along the top of the roof.
Okay. Do I have to, is it a situation where I've got to kind of do this number and pull up to get on top of the roof?
Oh, no, from the window, you'd kind of like swung out on the eave and up onto the roof itself. So when you were like catching for Etienne, I probably should describe that better. That's my bad. I imagined it like you were laying on the top of the, angled roof, reaching down with a hand to Etienne.
Ah, okay. So when I look to my left and my right, are there buildings to my left and right? And if there are, how close are they?
Yeah, there are shared walls kind of along that, along the row.
Okay.
So basically, you're going up, up the peaks across multiple buildings. It's a long roof lines.
Okay, and we came into the city from the west.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to. Dust will head in a westwardly direction over the top of this roof. Back toward the gate. She is going to do her damnedest to get out of this place and get back to her companions and report to them what has happened.
Okay. Yeah, now outside of the castle itself in the town, there isn't much of a wall really at all. It's maybe only like 8 to 10 feet, mostly log. So, I mean, you could, from the roof, potentially find yourself a way over before ever going near to the gate.
Yeah, that sounds great. Like that's what if I don't have to jump down to the ground and try and leg it through there, that is wonderful. Yeah. Is that apparent from my vantage point?
Yes, you can easily see, from this roof line, you can see the, all the way down the main street to the kind of like smaller gatehouse, and you could see the way that fence line kind of goes around.
Okay.
If you went directly southish, you could actually, couple the, I guess gardens, streets, and basically like within 100 feet of the wall to the south. It would be a bit of evasion kind of through, gutters and alleyways basically between some of the other smaller homes. But that's actually the fastest way towards the wall.
Is to head south.
Yeah, from current position. This is a spot I probably should have done a tactical map.
No, that's all good.
No, that's okay. And my last question before I actually decide what to do is, when we came through, is it still the same day as our last session or no?
Yeah, from when you guys had stopped, it's off into the afternoon on that day.
Okay, so I'm going to on this rooftop. Dust is going to get down as low as possible and kind of shimmy solid snake style, quickly yet quietly, and try and get over that wall and get into the woods south of Brackenwold.
Okay. All right. And you can hear, the booted feet kind of stomping around. You can hear them calling different ways, or, calling out to each other. We have to get around to the other roads. Move, move. Take that one to the cell. And you can hear like the booted feet kind of rushing kind of away from you. You can still hear some of them down in front of like the row of houses that you're on. But from where you're at, looking along the roof lines, it looks like they kind of have to go a bit of a ways to hit an alley to go down to the streets along the southern edge there.
In these alleys, is there anything like a bunch of junk stacked up, like wash basins and brooms and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, a couple crates, some empty barrels and such.
Okay, I have a pouch with 5 coin in it. I am going to, as hard as I can, huck that pouch of 5 coin in that and do the old throw the thing over here and run this way trick.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Look, money. Oh.
Nice.
Tiny distractions, man.
Right? Yeah, so, and I'm not going to actually have a roll for any of that then. The distraction is definitely going to work, and you're able to kind of skirt your way through like that small chunk of town to that outer wall. And like I said, it's about 8 feet, and it's like vertical logs or timbers standing straight up. I'm not even a roll to climb that. Like it's an easy thing to climb over. Okay. And you're able to pop yourself right out of the town and into the kind of rolling plains and sparse trees just outside.
Is there any cover, or is it pretty open?
It's mostly open, but there are it is plains. There are kind of taller grasses and in some of these fields, as well as brush and small stands of trees.
Do I see any sort of structure besides what's behind me?
Yeah, not out here to the south, no.
Do I see anything as far as a landmark that would stick out that might seem like people hang out there, or like a lover's roost or a pond that people might fish at, things like that?
Not that you can see. That's a kind of thing like you would have to be a little more familiar with the locals and the custom to know what spots people might go and hang out at. But you can't really see any type of doesn't look like there's any type of a lake or a pond that you can see. There is definitely enough cover, though. I mean, as far as bushes and tall grass and smaller stands of trees, it does look like a lot of this had been cut away or deforested, presumably for the parts of those walls and building materials.
Yeah. Dust is going to waste no time in getting into the nearest bit of cover that she can, if for nothing else, to break line of sight on anyone who might have a bead on her.
All right. Yeah, and again, that's easy enough to do. And as you kind of make your way down into that, maybe hunkering down to kind of catch your breath a moment, you can hear some voices kind of a little distant, but they seem to be heading more or less your direction, perhaps a little south of you. You can hear one of them saying, it should be somewhere down around here. Yes.
It smells like silent as the grave.
It smells like the father is down this way. Elric scored Etienne. That's Thumwat talking. As you guys have made your way through this countryside south of the city, it's within sight, but a good 2-3 football fields out, and Thumwat is leading you through different stands of trees and through heavier foliaged areas or heavier bushes, and soon comes up to a spot. Oop, I actually don't have character. Let me get these guys out of here.
Perhaps if we find a cart, Dwarf, we could hide you in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what?
A cart.
Art.
Caught?
A cart. Of course. That's what I said.
I had a cart once. It had stuff in it.
Forgot to
No.
grab a guy, but we'll just use the former farmer.
Too much
As the
mind
father.
dust in the ears, I see.
Well, that guy, the guy who puts apple cider on his pork.
That's our father
Oh, that's right.
this time around.
Okay.
I forgot to pull art for him. Yeah, and Dust, you can kind of hear these sounds. You hear the familiar voice of Elric talking about hiding Scored in a cart.
She does one of these.
That was fun.
And
You know, you won't be hiding me in a cart. You need my good axe where you need it out here. In a cart does no good.
Yes, but that silly elf will have gotten herself captured for sure.
So?
Well, it seems reasonable that we may need her help in the future.
Of course, but I'm sure until we find more information about the elf and Etienne, they were supposed to scout the town. They were supposed to tell us what it is. They have not come back yet. Obviously, they are still scouting, or they've been lost drinking wine or singing songs on rooftops again. I don't know.
I just presume, as Thunwort suggested, that they are probably captured and deep in the dungeon awaiting execution.
I love the extremes. We're either drunk or getting hanged.
This is where I make
Either
the
way.
excuse that Elric's intelligence was rolled at a 9.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at the dungeon.
right. Oh, me pop into the front. My bad. Yep. Meanwhile. Oh, that was supposed to be map layer. There we go.
There we go.
Meanwhile.
Jesus.
Wink.
Oh, Dust is there?
Stick
That. There's some weird
Dust
dude-
up out of the prison, kind of hidden in the top group to the side. All right. Meanwhile, Etienne, you are tossed into. You're led into the castle Brackenwold itself. You're stripped of your weapons. You see them place them into a what's it called? Into a
container.
chest or such outside, and they toss you into this stone cell.
I keep track of the hallways and how many steps from my weapons I am.
Okay. And there's another person here in the cell, another goat man of sorts. And one of the guards looks in and yells, "We'll get all this sorted out. You'll see. Don't try any of your fancy fairy tricks there. The gates are all iron. There's iron in the mortar, or iron nails in the mortar between all of those stones.
This
Your
gate right here.
Your fate tricks won't work in here, changeling. This will all be sorted out when we find the real Etienne."
So they took my my weapons and my backpack, or just my weapons?
Yeah, weapons and pack kind of left you in your clothes.
Just my clothes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was like, uh-oh. What's about to happen?
Nothing. Nothing.
So.
Damn it. No. Alrighty. Yeah, so I turn around and see this tall thing. How you doing?
Looks down. Changeling, is it?
But that's a new one on me. I was just shopping. So I walk over to the bars and kind of peek down the hallway and see if anyone's there.
It seems like they have basically left you alone at this point.
So how often do they come by to check on us?
It's gonna be a while, buddy.
Well,
Let me tell you.
D6 months.
as far as I know, as far as I know, they won't be coming back for me until tomorrow morning when the sun comes up. They're going to take my head.
No, well, we can't have that. And I pull from behind my gauntlet, I pull out a lockpick. And I go over and start jimmying with the lock on the other side.
Of course.
Oh, fool. They're going to take your head sooner. As soon as they...
We'll see. I've learned a couple tricks in my days.
Right now, they're out looking for your copy. They're looking for the other one of you, your twin.
I didn't know I had one, so that's a new one on me.
Well, all changelings do. Whatever babe you replaced, they're going to find him, and they're going to bring him here, and they'll judge which one of you is the Fae.
That's fine with me. No, but yeah, I'll keep trying to mess with the lock a little bit.
And he kind of like cocks his head and looks. You can touch the iron?
Yeah. Tap, 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 tap. Like I said, I'm not a changeling.
Oh, this is curious. You're the human. Oh, this is curious indeed. I kind of hope I live long enough to see the outcome of this one.
I'll see what I can do about that if you're willing to help me out of this place.
I'm too weak. I've been in here for hours. The sickness has already set in. So much iron.
Oh, I can get you out of here, and that should help out a little bit.
That would be nice. I would really prefer not to die.
Yeah, you and me both.
I think anybody would figure that.
All right. Yeah, and like I said, I'll work on that lock.
All right, roll your tinker, or the tinker skill. Covers all traps, locks,
Perfect.
and gadgets.
Perfect, and I have a 1 pip, so that works.
Oh, nope. One pip.
No, we have to have a 6.
Yeah, 1 pip means a 6.
Oh, really? I thought 1 pip was down from 6. Made it a 5 or a 6.
No, it's the 1 pip is a 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah, one pip. Single pipper.
Okay.
Yep, single
Wait.
pip is a 6.
I thought,
Not
I thought rogues had an extra pip in like all the pips.
No, they have points that they can
You
spend as
got
they
4
see
to
fit.
distribute.
I had extra points to put, and I put them in different things.
What'd you spend your pips on, man?
4
Yeah.
level 1, add 2 when you gained a level, or 2 more when you gained a level.
This is what happens when you go pipping things.
Yeah. Pip my merc. Okay.
We're low level, so it's just the tip of the pip.
Just the tip of the pip.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the
The
iceberg.
pip tip.
I don't know if these ever change.
Just a pip squeak.
We digress. Focus.
All right.
Yeah, it doesn't quite get. You can hear, you're reaching around through, kind of doing it, and you can hear that you had got a couple of the tumblers, but then fuck, slipped and lost them. Got to start it over.
Some time. Yep. So tell me about your home. Where's your family from?
Oh, to the north, the Valley of Wise Beasts.
The Valley of Wise Beasts, huh? That one's new to me.
How could it be new to you?
Well,
Are you from the High World?
No.
Are you from here, the Brackenwold?
No.
There isn't much else. Where did you come from?
Well,
You had a Drigbolt? Or Prigwort?
no, don't think so. No, I'm
No.
a merchant. I sail the river with Merrick.
Oh, the River
Totally
Hamath?
I've totally forgot the name of those 2 towns and the river. I don't have the map written on my paper.
All right. Yeah, the Tamis River.
The Tamis. Okay.
Tamis River.
Yep. I'll pop you guys over there right quick.
No problem.
Yeah.
My bad.
Tamis River, Devonwood.
Devonwood. Yeah. So yeah.
Birchwood.
Flint and Birchwood. Yes, I'll tell them all that.
I switched all my music.
I was like, yeah, no, me and Merrick for years have sailed up and down the Thames, going between Flint and Berkeley, down into southern France. It's been a great life. That's why I'm not going to end up in this cell for the rest of it, even if it is tomorrow.
I have no knowledge of any of those places.
Well, maybe someday we can show you.
You may as well be speaking liturgic. It's all liturgic to me.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know anything of where I am. So you actually have a leg up on me in that one. What is going on in this area? And why is there such a problem with changelings?
They're Fae. The Brackenwold, they drove all of the Fae from this area. And my sad fate, I was caught. There's a group of us. I'm one of the couriers for the Earl of Yellow. These are also his lands. But Brackenwold does not recognize the Fae or their lordships, which is a sad state because Fae, we were all here first before this incursion of man. Oh man, what was it? 1,200 years ago? I think when the first of the humans came through.
And you guys weren't able to fight back, or did you just flee?
No, we all used to. I mean, things were good for the longest time. Till the Drunes started, I guess you could say, taking advantage of the dolmen. They putrefied the magics. They locked them away. They've basically taken control of all the dolmen. And this greed they had for the power of the stones, sapping the power from the ley lines, they let the humans kind of take over. There were several churches set up from their god. Most of them have fallen now. There are some good ones, though. Don't get me wrong. When you get into the rest of the wood, they're fine. Coexistence the way it should be. But a lot of things... the Prince of Winter, why, he was exiled completely when they built the Witch Ring. Damn Drune. But what's worse is when the King of Winter was banished, the Prince of Winter, when he was banished, Attenue came, the Nag Lord. He's made things much worse. He claimed himself as king of the whole wood. And now, all of these poor children.
What's going on with the children?
Why, they're collecting them in nines from everywhere, as many places as he can find. He's trying to open them, all of the doors.
Interesting. Where I'm from, we had some missing children too. That's one of the reasons why we're here.
Oh, then you are from outside. Yes, he's trying to open all of the doors, make all of the planes open to everything, every realm. This cannot happen. This cannot happen. If the Greenlands come, it will be death to all.
Okay.
You can see it getting ever closer. Just look up at the moon.
The moon,
The Greenlands are drawing closer and closer. They're trying to outshine the very moon itself. It's dark, dark times. All right, score dust minimus historic.
Wow.
Yeah, so the father comes up to Thumwoot and grabs his child, looks up and tells him, "Oh, thank you so much, sir. Oh, thank you so much. We were right fearful when they took our dear little girl here. Oh, thank you. I wish I could do more." And he reaches and hands out just berries or something in it. And Thumwood, "No, nothing is needed. Please, go back to your home, back to the safety of your walls there in the castle. We'll do what I can. Let the others know I'm going back for more of their children as I can. This last one was hard." And the three of you kind of standing behind him can see a gash across his back. Looks like he'd taken a hit as he fled.
Thumbwood?
Yeah, Thumbwood. And the farmer kind of acknowledges the rest of you and turns and leaves with his child.
Before that can happen, Dust will reveal herself.
Okay. The farmer kind of, and he kind of nods at you, thankfully, assuming you part of, the rest of the guys there. All right.
Dust! I thought you captured
will,
for sure.
Dust will stall the farmer with a silent hand.
Oh. You pull him back out. Oh, is there something more?
Dust doesn't answer the man at first. She looks to Elric and says, "Oh, yeah, so Etienne is in the dungeon. I saw him clapped in manacles. They rang the alarm as soon as they saw me. They think he's a changeling." And she looks at the man. "Changeling?"
Oh, a fae. They're not too kind to fae in the Brackenwold. Not at all. No fae at all, in fact.
Naturally.
We're not all like that. It's just the king. Well, he calls himself a king. And he does have more power than most, but it's only outside of the wood. If I could pack up my family and go, we'd be somewhere else for sure. But Brackenwold is safe, especially with the Tinue causing all the havoc he has. Need the protection for my family.
How would we meet your king, sir?
Well, you sir can walk right in. They'll give you no mind, especially one of the light.
So our people are not horrible barbarians and know of the light.
Oh no! And he makes the sign of the light. Of course not. I am a light-faring man.
Then this is a simple matter. I shall simply explain to the king that I am a champion of the light, and that I shall take charge of Etienne, in spite of whatever curses befall him and turned him into a changeling.
Oh, you don't understand. It's the church here. They're the ones what are going to execute him. If he really is a changeling, if he's the Fae side, well, they're taking his head clean off. Now, if he's the human, he'll be fine. They'll just let him go.
Well, it does seem quite human. And we must obey the wishes of Mother Church.
Well, that's the tricky bit about changeling. You really can't tell. Common fairy tests, iron, that sort. They'll root him out.
I have faith in the church, then.
All right. We're going to pop back over to Etienne.
Sorry, Etienne.
As you hear booted feet coming down the hallway again, and you hear this, "Oh, please. I was mourning my parents. You dragged me away from the barrows. What have you done? What is happening? Quiet, changeling. We'll not hear your lies any longer." And they open the gate and throw in you.
You son of a bitch!
Okay, Joe, there's only one thing I need to know. Which one of them has the goatee?
They both do.
Oh, damn it.
They are identical, which is...
One saunters to the left, one saunters to the right.
So they're both
right-handed.
evil Ettins. Got it.
Yeah, we're both evil.
All right.
Oh,
and on the note, I think it's 7:23. I think we should do a quick bio break.
Oh, holy crap. I didn't even realize
that's
we
a
were
good
that
stop,
far
right?
in. Yep.
That's
Right,
a good
so that's
scene
our-
stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rolling the credits. Bye, everybody.
Right? Bye.
Do what the video
After
says.
these messages, we'll be right back.
That is a great cliffhanger, dude.
In a couple of days.